What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest chapter review for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega chapter 316 entitled Unpinning. A brand new move of the Gao style from Ryuki as far as I can tell. Now, are you seriously going to sit here? Or am I going to sit here? You guys might be standing. I might be in headphones. I do that. Do you guys do that? Do you sometimes turn on a review or a podcast or whatever, just put the headphones in, you don't actually watch the video, you just use it as sort of ASMR or white noise in the background? I do that a lot when I'm cooking and shit. Anyways, I say all this because for once I'm going to be on time. It's going to be late Wednesday, but it's going to come out Wednesday night, as it's supposed to. And I'm on time for the review, and it's a good chapter, overall, but there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Seriously, the choreography of this fight, this bout, I should say, is pretty good. I enjoyed the back and forth and stuff like that, and the explanation as to why this Hushen, how do you say that? Hoshen? I don't know how to say the HUs, and depending on whether that's supposed to be Chinese, Japanese, or something, it all depends. It's no different than any other language. Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and stuff. Depending on the language, certain letters go silent or sound different. So anyway, Hoshen here is, or the tiger, is far weaker than the dragon, or Jackie, right, of Shen Wulong. So that explanation's really cool and stuff, and we'll get into that. But that's pretty much it, because it's more of a, they fight, because they even say they go back in time a little bit. So they spend the first couple of pages basically saying, oh, so this is the conversation we pretty much had. So they spend the first 2-3 pages of the chapter being okay, they're still at the restaurant. He remarks that Joji picked up on it right away, sort of idea, and he's like, well, I'm not Shen, and this is just all information we know. The dialogue is fine. I don't mind the flow and the pace of the chapter. It's just that this is sort of information we as readers already know. And he's just like, yeah, so I'm not the Shen that you know and stuff like that. And Ohma and Ryuki gets a little worried, and Ohma remarks, so you're the tiger, sort of idea, and they're getting all shocked. But he reassures them, and this is probably why Joji didn't take action or whatever. He goes, no, you don't understand. I didn't take over the body maliciously. He's perfectly safe. I got his permission to come out as well, and that does seem to be the case if we can believe the last chapter when he was getting all outfitted and getting a watch. Oh, you and I both appreciate nice watches, that kind of idea. So it's okay, this does make sense that he did give permission. He's like, oh, I've woken up and it's time for me to come out, sort of idea. And Dragon Shen is like, yeah, all right, sure, take a crack at it, Tiger. Have some fun for a change, So, and he remarks, but I know who all of you are because I have all the knowledge, because I've been seeing through his eyes this entire time. I just have never taken action, sort of idea. This is where the deal is, and this is actually new information, so not too bad, is he says, I promise if you can beat me, I will give up on taking your bodies. So this adds a bit of a layer, but I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition in a specific way, not because of bad writing or anything. I just don't think it's obviously going to come to fruition. Is the tiger or Hoshen here Hushen is immediately still on board with the research and the brain swapping surgeries and stuff like that. He wants a body of his own. To be fair, he is locked up. I mean, there has been many an anime and many science fiction movies about this, trapped inside a useless body, sort of idea. And at the end of the day, it's not selfish to just want to have a body of their own. So we can add another layer to this. It's not just that Dragon and Tiger I just want a body to go toe to toe and then I'll be satisfied. No, he's sharing this body for however many decades sucks. I can watch, but I can't interact. It's kind of painful and stuff. We saw that a little bit with Sword Art Online and stuff like that, which not exactly the greatest example of good writing, but with which season was it? The Rosaria season and stuff like that. Similar idea, right? And it does add a layer of maybe the tiger it's not fair for him to take over all the time. It's not fair for Dragon to take over all the time. It's we need a second, we need another body here, let's go, sort of idea. The selfish part would be the fact that they made these clones, like they sort of did it to themselves in a way, but they made these clones because he's like, oh, not just anybody, I want my own body, like I basically want another one of me, and I don't care who the, the fallout is. So that's all good in a sense that he, from a very simplistic sense, it's not totally unempathetic, unsympathetic, exactly, to understand that this, like Mechamaru or whatever, like that, in JJK sort of idea, like we've had these characters before where they're trapped in a useless body or a body that they can't control. They just want their own freedom and stuff. That's not a bad desire. We can't take negative connotations away from that particular set. It's when you get to the details. The devil's in the details, as they say. So, fact is that even though Dragon Shen is sort of like, well, as far as I'm concerned, and he promised Yamagohan, like, all right, I'll give up on that idea. I'll give up on that plan. And I've already talked at length about why it wasn't inherently evil for him to agree to the plan in the first place. It was an option presented to him, and he's like, that checks off my Christmas list. Let's do it. Oh, it's going to hurt people. Well, I never considered that. Because he's so detached from his humanity, that because he's so far removed, that, it's very difficult for him, So, in this regard, though, the Tiger has obviously not, I say all this to get to the point that the Tiger has obviously not given up on this plan. He's promising, hey, if you guys can beat me right now, I will give up on the plan, but that's what the dragon agreed to. I didn't agree to this shit. You know what I mean? And from the Tiger's perspective, if the dragon gets a fight, fantastic, but then there are still two of them trapped in the same body. That's a bad deal for the Tiger. It's an okay deal for the dragon to finally get a fight that makes his blood pumping, but that only satisfies one of them. Doesn't satisfy both of them. So when Shen agreed to Yamagohan, yeah, all right, I'll give up on that plan, the Tiger's like, excuse me, other half of the brain here, I'm not agreeing to that shit. You're not the one locked up. So yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense that this is still on the table as far as the Tiger's concerned. So, as I said, we then jump to the actual fight itself back proper. The choreography, I really like it. It's pretty good and stuff like that. And it seems like, as he was having the tingly arms before and stuff like that, it seems like Ryuki's doing pretty well. And for fans of Ryuki, which I'm not really, I'm kind of indifferent to him, really. And same with Koga. If you want them to be your main characters and you like this, then you have to like this chapter for doing this alone. They're showing off that Ryuki is quite a bit stronger. Hugh Shen here even acknowledges, well, alright, you're quite a lot stronger than the last time we saw you, like the dragon saw you. You have definitely improved. So boom, you have your upgrades and stuff like that. Ryuki's doing well. Okay, he's not down and forgotten sort of idea. So if you are a person who didn't like the fact they brought Ohma back and Koga and Ryuki kind of got put to the sidelines, and you like them being the main characters and you want to see them shine as main characters, then I don't see if you can complain about this chapter exactly. It'd be very hypocritical for someone to say, I want Ryuki and Koga to take the spotlight, and then dislike this chapter. Because he is taking the spotlight, and he's being praised and complimented, and it does work out, because he even says, you restored your potential and stuff like that. They continue the fight. As I said, the choreography to me is quite good. I'm enjoying this, just the back and forth sort of idea. Hugh Shen here isn't struggling exactly, but Ryuki is still managing to dodge and put pressure. And it's like, wait a minute now. This is the guy who literally can do this, who can only use one side of his body, only his left arm and left leg, to fight against the beard himself. How is he rushing Ryuki? And Ryuki, he's taking some hits, but he's blocking them and stuff. It's like, what is going on? Is he just slowing down or whatever? But we get the explanation. Ohma's been watching and he's realizing, something's off. And we get the panel that just says, you've probably figured it out by now. This version of me is far weaker than he is. Far. Okay. This, people probably aren't going to like this. I love this. I love this because it makes total sense the moment you read the next page, if you hadn't figured it out already. Is that it makes sense considering he has been in the driver's seat for our whole lives. He doesn't know what it's like to have fingers, to taste, to smell, to have 5 senses. He has no idea. He's only had sight this entire time. He's been a brain in a jar. You know, he's been Dr. Wheelo. He's sitting there just watching shit. That's all he's been doing. He's basically a cancer patient, like, you know, he's Mechabar, he's Rosario, he's all these characters. He's literally sitting there and unable to do any of this stuff. This is all brand new to him. This is like, and it's when he first got unlocked, when it was against Luhan and Fake Nico there. He, how do you use vocal cords? You know what I mean? He's like a baby. I mean, obviously he's very advanced because he has the knowledge of how to, you know, use a fork and how to do these things, but he's never actually done it. So he's like, this is all new to me. So I'm, of course, not familiar with this body. We've seen that also in a lot of animes. It was done in Dragon Ball Super, in fact. When Zamasu took Goku's body, Vegeta clearly states, you can't use that body correctly. And it was done in Dragon Ball Z when Ginyu stole Goku's body and stuff like that. When you're in an unfamiliar body, you can't bring out all the potential. You can't use that body the same way. You know what I mean? We've seen this in Doppelganger. We've seen this in Seven Deadly Sins. We've seen this done before. So this is nothing new, and it does make sense. It works in those animes, and it works here. It absolutely does, because he's just like, I have all the knowledge, but my muscular control is garbage right now and stuff like that. Who knew controlling a body would be so freaking tough? And he's still like, yeah, all right, the kung fu grip, okay, yeah. You know, it's like he's trying to figure it all out right now. So this is the opportunity. Ryuki even acknowledges, us as the readers acknowledge, they're not going to get another chance like this, because he's not exactly a baby and it's going to take him years to figure this out. It's going to take him more like days to figure this out, right? So this is their best chance. This is when the connector is at his current weakest. So this is their opportunity. Right now, I'm just going to straight up say it. The beard would probably win this fight. Okay? I think the beard would win. Just saying. Because even though Ryuki has vastly improved and stuff like that, and if you want to put him in like A tier right now because of his improvements, or if he's top of B or something like that, great. He's still, as far as I'm concerned, not an S tier, though he does keep trying these new, he's dodging and he's managing to read the moves and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, this is good. And Ryuki does do a fair job, because he does actually get a full hit in Gao-style unpinning. He does manage to punch him square in the face. He scored the first hit. Even Ohma acknowledges it and stuff like that. So it's not been redirected or something like that. He saw it. It was a straight hit. And boom, he's like, okay, you demonstrated your strength. And then Ohma immediately says, all right, it's my turn now. And I'm like, oh, ho, ho, ho. Ohma is definitely far strong. We know for a fact. Ohma is one of the top 10 best fighters in the series, if not top 5. I would argue he's top 5, but still. Top 10 at the very least. Ryuki is not. Ryuki isn't even close to the top 10 yet. So, the fact is, this is actually their best opportunity. Where is the beard when you need him? Like, somebody dial. Kuroki, get your ass off the mountains. This is our chance to beat the connector, you know? Kuroki would probably refuse this, in fact. He's like, I'm not fighting a nerfed connector. I already did that, and we were both holding back. No. Next time we fight, we already agreed. Next time we fight, I'm going to go all out, and he's going to use his whole body. That was a gentleman's agreement. There might not have been a handshake, but, you know, like, we're doing this, right? So Kuroki probably wouldn't agree anyways. But yeah, this is the opportunity. I think Ohma's going to do, obviously, better than Ryuki. But I think he's actually going to give the connector a run for his money right now. Especially since he's been training, literally, with Kuroki and stuff. We've seen what he was managed to do against Joji and against Karushi and things like that. Shen, of course, already gave him the, you know, like, just adjust your body slightly and boom, you know, get those millimeters down to a point and stuff like that. This is going to be our first time. Hopefully they show the whole thing. I'm hoping this at least 2 chapters from here. I'm hoping the next chapter and the following chapter we get to see Ohma versus Shen right now, or Hu Shen, because this is going to be him really, as much as he's improved, now he's going to be able to go completely all out. This isn't a sparring match. This is a fight. This is a, you beat me, and I'll give up on your bodies. Ohma has an opportunity here. I mean, you know, but he did manage to get the strike in and stuff like that. So at the very end of the chapter here, Ryuki also has faith in Ohma going, but maybe Ohma will have a chance because he hit this new unpinning Gao style unpinning move. Pretty cool. Managed to hit it. He did connect, but Ryuki still took a counter, even with this brand new move that Shen hadn't seen before, Hu Shen hadn't seen before, and stuff. So it is what it is. But I love that. You know, I just like the pacing of the chapter. I like everything that's going on, and I'm trying to drag this out by going through each panel, as trying to drag this review out so it's not just 4.5 minutes. But anyways, and the end part is nice because we see when Ryuki remarks, but maybe Ohma will have a chance. Ryuki once again acknowledging, because back then he thought he could take him when he was under Setsuna's wing, and it's like, dude, you have never been able to take Ohma. And Ohma now is doing his classic. He's hopping up and down. He's a hopping. And he's like, all right, let's get this party started. He's getting his blood pumping. Let's do this. So I'm actually pretty excited for the next chapter. But this was a necessary setup chapter. We saw Ryuki do his thing. If you're a Ryuki fan, you were eating quite nice here. We get an explanation as to how the connector is now slow in a way and stuff like that. That makes sense. Okay, it's a nice twist to have the tiger officially taken over. There's a lot to like here. There's just a lot to like here. So, anyways, yeah, I think I stretched this out into like 15 minutes, which is, you know, always the goal, always the goal. Because if I was going to make something that was like an 8-minute video, I might as well just make a YouTube short, right? So, anyways, at that type of thing. So, yeah, so I think I covered everything. And, oh, yeah, oh, awesome. We did well. I stretched that shit out as best I could, because this one is going to be on time. And we'll see you guys back here next Wednesday for Chapter 317. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys can tell, I'm actually kind of excited. Because I am. I'm straight up excited to see how Ohma's going to perform, because we went through his training stuff, and the fact that Ryuki managed to get a hit in on him. Okay, let's see what Ohma's packing, you know, because he's way closer to principles. He's way closer to all this stuff than Ryuki, obviously. So, let's see what happens here, all right? So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Looking forward to next Wednesday, guys. Have a good one. Sayonara.